'Twas a long, eerie night in June, with cold creeping into every room. Into the heart of the raging fire sits a man who tried to calm his desire, for the blood of his victims stained his mind, where not even the evening cigarette, nor the strongest whiskey the man had on hand, could calm the screams he longed to regret. Ever-weary man of woe, with a stare that burned away the snow, he grumbles and swats at his head. "Oh, how I wish I was dead," said he as memories flood him relentlessly, when a sudden knock triggered him effortlessly, demanding with barreled iron in hand, his voice being the darkest amongst the land. As knocking grows louder and strong, heavy were the boots that trampled along. The latch unlocked by trembled fingers, a strange noticeable fear began to linger. The top hat was first in sight, for upon a torchlit visage he reassured no fright. "I am but a friend with interactions limited, a quaint stay for a man rarely visited. Business be stated, or this face you see will be your only breathing memory." Behind maddened eyes he couldn't shake, feelings of trust at him indeed quaked. Alas, iron barrels moved on down, inviting strangers old to look around, as cast metal hit his dinner table, allowing him a place where talk is able. Chairs that tried creaking ever so quietly, both expect to converse delightfully. Before his burning question filled the air, his intent well thought of was now aware. A proposal not heard aeons from his first, one whose wish was for better or for worse. "Mercy be upon my son's soul, as sickness from within has killed his will to live, so may his death be quick and painless." Disbelief took control of his face, as he had never been asked nor embraced to end a life per man's request. This was to him an interesting test. God made all the men in the world, why must I be of interest for plans unfurled? Out of mouth came reluctantly a yes. Up the man went to the town he knew best. Night fell hard as he found it harder for even a second of rest, be it his never-before encounter, that his aching body finally could sink. The urge to kill was stronger than you might think. Back out of bed he went with fiery passion, preparing for the hunt he loved old-fashioned. Now the killer has returned to state primal, out of the woods, yet still mindful. When dead of night stood solemnly on the land that bound her there, he was now to be feared by all unaware. Crunching leaves dispersed by darkness, alone in thought with midnight blindness, upon his view there came the house, whose light's reverse marked the grounds for which he was to strike him down. Floorboards bow below his low stance, slowly crawling to a room lit up by candles on wooden planks carrying medicine. He knew this was the undying chance to complete the task brought on by mercy, to ease a broken soul so clearly hurting. There he was, motionless in bed, clearly trying to rest his painful head. "It is time," he says, as cold steel unsheathed from the jacket which shielded its wrath. Before his eyes the moon blessing his blade with power and guiding it straight into its path. White knuckles gripped the handle viciously, looking down at his victim maliciously. Before the force on downward commence, a sudden moment of reflection so intense, there begins a memory he long resents. To be continued.